Today we continue to look at the Matthew chapter 2, verse 1 through 6. The subject of the title is Where is the Christos Iesous begotten? Today is the third part. Third part, I put it on here, wise man. And then wise man in the Greek word is the magos. Magos is the wise man, and it is the plural, so wise man living. And he came from where? From east living. The meaning of east means meeting place, which is meeting face to face, meeting in front. So there is the east. And wise man living from east living became near into Hierosolima. Hierosolima, English translated as Jerusalem. Jerusalem means teaching of peace. So those are the portion that we are going to look at it. But today, because of the time limit, we're only going to look at the wise man living. Who is the wise man living? And who are the wise men? Have you ever met the wise men? Because when we're looking at what we learned so far, in the living of Herodes the king. Herodes is the hero appearance, hero shape, hero view, hero image. So if you are pursuing and looking for the hero image on the earth, then that time, one day in your life, the wise man is showing up. And then he's going to say, where is the one was brought forth, king of the Judaeos living? So the Herodes is the king, who is the worldly king and earthly king. And then the Jesus is the king of Judaeos that we learned from last Sunday sermon. So Jesus is the existence of salvation. Judaeos is the hoping the emergence of existence. And then Jesus is born in the house of war, house of bread. In order for the Christos Iesous is born, you have to be a Jew. I was preaching last Sunday. And then the location, you have to become the house of war. The war has to be start inside you. New knowledge has to be bring forth inside you. New understanding has to bring forth inside you. In order to do that, you need to meet the one of the mediator. The mediator that we are about to looking at today is the wise man. When we were born, everybody has a different background. You probably was born in certain religious family. It can be a Buddhist, it can be an Islamist, it can be a Confucianist, whatsoever. Or you might was born in just natural without having any religion. But whatever background of family you have, one day you have to meet the wise man. Wise man is talking about the magos. The dictionary definition is the Oriental wise man, astrologer. This wise man is the one who talking to you during your life. Do not rely on the star. Do not looking for the hero image, the star on the earth. You have to looking for the stars in the heaven. It can be a Buddha, it can be a Allah, whatsoever. That is the starting point of your looking for the star, looking for the heavenly knowledge in your life. That's why I put in here, magos is through the wise man, I know who is my true eternal king and who is the opposition to salvation. Who is the opposition group to salvation? On here, Matthew chapter 2, King Herodes, right? Chief priest, those scribes, right? So all those religious men and the king, they are the one in the opposition side for my salvation. So I can meet the eternal King. So I can research the truth of the God. That is the turning point in my life. So Magoi is urging us. He appeared to my life. Look at the heaven. Looking for the star in the heaven. When we rely on the earthly knowledge, when we're talking about the science, and then in the Middle Age time, we know the Earth is the center of the world, the center of the universe, right? So the sun, moon, star is what? Moving around the earth. That was the Middle Age, the knowledge. But as the technologies developed, we know the earth is rotating through the suns, right? Then earth is not center of our universe, right? So in our daily life, when we wake up, sun is rising. In the evening, sun is set down, right? There is one day, beginning and the end. But what is the reality? Sun never goes up, sun never goes down, right? But we experience because the starting and the ending point. But sun is just remaining forever, isn't it? Even before I was born. It will remain after I finish my personal life. So, when we just rely on the earth, when we just rely on this planet earth, everything is changing. We're looking for the happiness. Then what is the definition of happiness in earthly knowledge and worldly knowledge? It depends on your emotion, isn't it? When something's happened based upon your plan and your emotion, you feel happy. Your emotion, you feel happy, right? But when some things and summons is not working based upon what you thinking, what you wishing, then you feel sad, you are unhappy. So happiness and unhappy based upon your feeling, based upon your willingness, right? Something works well, you feel happy. Something doesn't work well, you are unhappy. But definition of happiness in the Bible is totally different concept. Same Happy. That's why heavenly knowledge, earthly knowledge, even though it used the same word. Another example, sin. The earthly knowledge sin is different from the biblical knowledge sin. Biblical knowledge sin is the no knowledge of the God. That is the sin. So Magoi is the one who's showing up in our life. And then talking about do not rely on this earth. Your life is forever life. Your life is not rely on your physical life. You need to look for the eternal life. That is the Oriental wise man, astrologer is showing up. Today is the 2023. In Oriental, we call the 12 different animals. We call the sexagenary, right? So Magoi is the one astrologer who is explain about the heaven. If you go to the internet, you type the sexagenary, which is a sexagenary cycle based upon 10 heavenly stems and 12 earthly branches. That is a cycle of 60 terms used for reckoning time. So, sexagenary cycle appears as a means of recording days in the first Chinese written text. So, today is the Gemyo, which is a Gemyo year. So, 2023 Gemyo year is the black rabbit. So those are the Oriental astrologer. This wise man is from the East, right? That's why they are also Oriental calendar system. They are showing the 24 seasonal division here, right? And then based upon this one, this astrologer, Oriental philosopher, and they are using the Saju here, Saju. So Saju is the one, means the 4 pillars of destiny. Chinese, Japanese, and Korean conceptual term describing a person's destiny or fate based upon sensation cycle of 60 gapja. And then traditionally Korean usually wanted to know their yearly fortune in a book called Tojong Secret Book. So using the wood, water, fire, metal, earth, those are all different types of 4 pillars, and then they are talking about Korean philosophy. So as you see here, Sensation cycle, you can go to this website and then you can even research how those things happen, how this thing is philosophy theory is working. You can even go to the YouTube channel talking about that, 10 star at a glance, all those things, right? And then cycle of fortune. It's the basic concept of Saju theory that one's fortune is predestined by the seasons of one's birthday. If the season is favorable to one's day, master, and subsequent season, all those things. And then they are even talking about, fortune telling based upon this one. Saju practice means fortune telling one's fortune by analyzing and evaluating the combination of 4 pillars of destiny based upon yin yang and 5 elements of theory. So they are even introducing based upon the Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs was born on February 24, 1955 at 19:15 hours, and he died on October 5th, 2011. And then his 4 pillar is all explaining based upon those Oriental astrologer. So how many times in your life, in your daily life, are you looking to the heaven? I was explaining heaven is existing inside you, right? Earth is existing inside you too. But your daily busy life, you probably does not have not much chance looking at the physical heaven. How many times are you thinking about, if you are the Christian, the Bible verses and then spending your time to read the Bible, whether you understand or not? So this magos, Oriental wise men, giving us a list, looking for the stars in the heaven. Do not looking for the star, Herodes the king, on the earth. Then this Herodes, this wise man living magos, is he came from the east living. Then when we go to the Genesis chapter 10 verse 25-30, he is the descendant of Eber. Eber is the one, Hebrew word is Ibur. Eber is Ibri. Ibri means cross the river, cross over. So your life rely on the earth. And then Ibri, which is the English pronunciation, is Hebrew. In the book of Hebrew, in the New Testament, that is the person who crossed the river, who beyond the river. Who is the one? Rely on the truth. Who is the one researching the truth of the God? Totally different, isn't it? Are you looking for the truth of the knowledge in the heaven? Or are you looking for the knowledge just that you survive yourself in your physical life? So you have to meet this magos. Let's go to look at the Genesis chapter 10, verse 25 to 30. Before we go down to 25, it starts from the verse 1. Now this is the genealogy of sons of Noah. Shem, Ham, Yabet. And the sons were born to them after the flood. And we go down to the 25. And then the sons of the Shem is talking about. When you're looking at the Shem, the Hebrew word is the Shem. Shem means name. So the Shem is the pronunciation of the Hebrew, and then Shem means name. So Shem is the first son of Noah. He is the one who remained in the name. What is the name of God? Yehovah, right? What is the meaning of Yehovah? The one begin existing, right? Hoping the existence, right? So Shem is the one who is keeping the name of Yehovah. And then we coming down, verse 25. So one of the sons from the Shem line is the Eber. Like I say, Eber is the one Hebrew, which is the cross. And Abel was born two sons. Name of one is Peleg, for in his days the earth was divided, and his brother's name was Yoktan. And then Yoktan begot Armoded, Shelef, Hajar-Mabeth, Jarah, Hadoram, Ujar, Dikla, Obar, Abimael, Sheba, Opil, Havilah, and Yobab. All these were the sons of Yoktan. And their dwelling place was from Mesa as you go toward Separ, the mountain of the east. These were the sons of Shem. So, there is what? Mountain of the east. So, they are dwelling place out of Mesa. Mesa means the lift up, burden, lift up. Mesa comes from the Nasa. Nasa means lift up. Mesa is the burden. Who gave you the burden? When we go to the New Testament Bible, when we go to the Matthew chapter 23, those Pharisees, Sadducees sitting in the Moses seat, they are speaking the God's commandment that give you heavy burden, heavy laden. That's why when we go to the Matthew chapter 11, Jesus say, you heavy laden, come to me, learn from me. By having the knowledge of God, those heavy laden will be what? Mesa will be lifted up. As you go to the Separ. Separ is the, Seper is the book. Separ is the count. The Old Testament Separ is the book of Bible. So, by knowing meaning the east, mountain of east, you can, heavy laden is lifted up, and you are able to count the book. Seper is the book, Separ is the count, which means the logos, calculate. You are able to understand. That's why this is the key point. You have to go to east to meet Christos Iesous. That's why they are coming from the east. From east living, so you can meet the star in the heaven, who is the king of Judaios. Then Anatole is the east. So the wise men living from east. East is the rising of the sun and stars. The east also the direction of the sun's rising. When you go to the Exodus, we're looking at the tabernacle, right? So tabernacle entrance start from where? East, right? And then you go through the court, and then you enter into the holy place, and then you enter into the most holy place. That is the direction of the west. So east is the starting point. East is the front. East is the meeting point. So Anatole comes from the verb anatello, which means to arise. So Anatole is the ana plus telos. What is the telos? Telos is the conclusion and end, right? That's why when we go to the book of Revelation, chapter 1, verse 8, I am Alpha, Omega, right? Arche, which means beginning, telos, and conclusion and perfection, right? those are talking about my 7 days processing. I was mentioned many times through my sermon, right? Which is that starting point is the telos is rising. Telos is the Christos Iesous. The conclusion, who is the wisdom of God, power of God, is rising. That rising place is what? East. And the Hebrew word, the east is the kedem. Kedem is the east. And then kedem comes from the verb kadam. Kadam is to go, meet face to face. In order for you to meet Christos Iesous, in order Christos Iesous is born, Bethlehem, house of war, house of bread, you as the Jews, hoping the emergence of existence, you have to go to the east to see him, to meet him. And then starting point is the you need to meet the wise men who give you the idea. Instead of looking for the star on the earth, you have to looking for the stars, King of Judaios, in your heaven. Without meeting him, your earth, you yourself will be what status? Genesis chapter 1 verse 2, right? The earth is totally darkness. No knowledge, no wisdom of God at all. About the east, we can go to look at the Genesis chapter 3 verse 23-24. 3:23 Genesis. Therefore the Jehovah God, the Lord, sent him out of the Garden of Eden. Sent to who? Sent the Adam and Eve, right? To till the ground from which he was taken. So they are talking about to till the ground. Actually, I was mentioned a long time ago, to till is the abad. Abad. Abad is not till, right? Abad is work and serve and labor. And then ground is not the Hebrew word is the ha-adamah, right? And then as you see here, et ha-adamah, right? Et is the 7 days processing. Et, first one, beginning process. Tab is the finish, completion process, which is same as alpha, omega, beginning, end process. And then ha-adamah is not the ground. Ha-adamah is the hoping the era. So you have to hoping the era. That way you can become the last era. Christos Iesous is born, crucifixion, resurrection, presence, all happening in your life. That is the et ha-adamah, hoping the era, right? And so he drove out the man. He drove out the man, looking at the drove out the man. Et ha-adam, right? Beginning Adam, complete Adam, finish Adam, right? So beginning Adam, complete Adam is first Adam through the last Adam is the what work has to be done. Serve, work, hoping the Adam process, right? Which is the 7 days process. He placed a cherubim at the east of the garden. East of the garden. Look at the east. Kedem, right? Kedem. So out of the east, there is a preposition. Out of the east, Garden of Eden, and then another et, right? Et ha cherubim. Cherubim. And then English translates us cherubim, right? But there is the beginning to the end. So we have to meet the cherubim, isn't it? To enter into what? Garden of Eden. Right? Where is the Garden of Eden? The God and the Lamb, the Garden of Eden, they are there, right? Based upon the tabernacle, that is the most holy place, isn't it? Right? So in order for us to go to become the sons of God, to become the children of God, to become the last era, we have to go through the hoping the Aram entire process based upon the verse 23. Based upon the verse 24 is the going through the et ha cherubim. Entire 7 days, we have to meet those cherubim, right? And then be'et lahat ha heret, which is also flaming sword is the what? 7, beginning to the end. Those are all et process. Aleph through tav process, alpha through the omega process, right? Which turn every way to guard the way of the tree of life. The tree of life is the Christ. Wisdom of God and power of God. To become a children of God, you yourself become a tree of life, isn't it? That's why we are come back to here when we go to the book of Revelation chapter 22. He showed me pure river of water of life, clear as crystal, proceeding from the throne of God of the Lamb. So throne of God, throne of Lamb, located where? Garden of Eden, right? Because throne of God, throne of Lamb, when we go to the Genesis chapter 2, when we're coming down, verse 10, 2:10 in Genesis, river went out of what? Eden to water the garden. So it comes from the Eden, water the garden. Throne of God, throne of Lamb. From here, it parted and become 4 riverhead, right? So Genesis 2:10 exactly talking about book of Revelation chapter 22, river, water of life, proceeding from the throne of God and of the Lamb. Right? In the middle of its street and on either side of the river was the tree of life. So tree of life is located in the garden, right? And at the same time, Garden of Eden, there is another tree, that is the tree of knowledge, good and evil, right? Also, there's a lot of different trees. Then I was mentioned about tree is the et in the Hebrew word. Et comes from the verb. Hebrew verb is the yacha. Yacha is to give the advice, to counsel, to give you the plan, right? So tree of life is the tree that provides you the God's life, which is the resurrection life. Then tree of life which bore the 12 fruit, each tree yielding its fruit every month. The leaves of the tree were for the healing of the nation. So in order for me to possess the tree of life, in order for me to possess the Christ, I go through the what? Entire 7 days processing et ha adama. I need to work. I need to labor. I need to till. Beginning, hoping the Aram. Complete, hoping the Aram. So I can meet the last Aram, the Christ. Then we are become one, and we are the one who provide the tree, the tree of life, isn't it? So go back to the Genesis chapter 3, all the way down. So then, who is the east of the garden? Cherubim and the flaming sword, right? That 7 days process, cherubim. 7 days process, flaming sword. Then, go through that process, I am able to possess the tree of life, right? Then what is the cherubim? And then what is the flaming sword? About that, cherubim, cherubim. Cherubim is the one subdue, dispute. And then the flame is the one burning. And flaming, that is the one lahat. So cherubim and the flame, we are going to look at these 2 words next Sunday sermon.